kick, not all that long. It is finally fielded all the way up on the 15-yard line by Raymond Malcolm, a reserve tailback, and he'll return it out to the 26, and it'll be first down for Auburn. And here comes Patrick Nix. Patrick's numbers this year pretty good. His career numbers pretty good, particularly the touchdown to interception ratio and the completion percentage. And as Bob Greasy said a moment ago, Coach Terry Bowden does not ask him most of the time to win the game. Stephen Davis, they do ask to be very much involved, and the big guy lined up in front of him, number 5, Joe Frazier, the blocking back. It is Frazier on the first carry, hammering over left guard and picks up about 3 yards before Darrell Blackburn makes the tackle. The backfield lining up behind Patrick Nix features Stephen Davis, number 48. Now, I'll tell you what, he is an 18-wheeler. You need both hands and a heavy frost to slow him down, because this guy can haul it. 223.
He is a load.
And Joe Frazier in front of him is a terrific blocking back. So those two people will be fun to watch. It is second down at about 7, and Nix sets to throw. The ball is batted down and almost intercepted. It may be no. Almost intercepted, batted down by Shannon Brown. And all the Auburn folks took a deep breath over that one. The referee is Bill Goss. He was right there to wave it off.
From behind the offense, pretty good protection. In fact, too good protection, but Brown, he realizes he can't get there to sack him or to put pressure, so he gets his hands up. It's a smart play by Shannon Brown.
So it is third down and 7 for the Plainsmen. The ball at the 29 with Beasley and Morrow in the backfield, and you've got Trips at the top of the picture. Out of the shotgun, Nix, a little shovel pass ahead to Morrow, and Morrow is cut down short of the line of scrimmage on a good driving tackle by number 41 for Alabama, Ralph Staten, starting at a linebacking position. And so the Alabama defense does what it's asked to do. The Auburn Tigers now will punt. The kicking game is pretty good for both these teams. Terry Daniel will be hitting it to Deshae Townsend. Townsend is a freshman out of Batesville, Mississippi. Terry Daniel, a senior from Valley, Alabama. And he gets a lot of hang time on most of his punts. And Townsend isn't going anywhere. He's taken down in a hurry back around the 22-yard line by Brian Brinsfield. Jay Barker has become quite a story at Alabama. First, you look at his career marks, and he will set records here this afternoon before this game is done. But he has already passed in the record book some great players. Harry Gilmer and Dixie Howell, of course, were tailbacks, but all those others were Hall of Famers, collegiate Hall of Famers, pro Hall of Famers.
Outstanding quarterbacks.
Really some great players. So Jay Barker is on top of the heap right now. First down. Side, the ball is pitched back to Sherman Williams. Gets around the corner. One man to beat. And he hits just enough of him to throw him off balance and take him down at the 48-yard line. So it's a 26-yard gallop on the first snap for Williams.
It's going to be a little toss sweep. Sherman Williams doesn't make many long runs. In fact, he only has 2 runs of 32 yards or more this season. It's a big first play for the Tide.
Quickly they come back. The ball rests at the 48, first down. First quarter of play, Alabama's first possession. Auburn punted on its first possession. Barker turns, keeps it, looks upfield. Nobody to throw it to, and turns a potential loss into about a 1-yard gain. In the backfield behind Barker, who incidentally is pretty big at 6'4", 215, you have Williams, number 20. We saw him run. Parent Lynch is a big blocking back. Once in a while gets the ball, and he can move it. Wide out, it's pretty good. Curtis Brown is the man they need a big day out of today if they're not able to run the ball on Auburn, and a lot of people don't think they will be able to run a whole lot. Second down and 9. On an option play, it goes to the big guy Lynch. And Parent Lynch rumbling down the field. That's what happens when he gets the ball. He can turn it for you. And he picks up a first down at the Auburn 26.
Well, that's the first new wrinkle of the ball game right there. Homer Smith, the offensive coordinator. Gene Stallings pulling out an option, especially to the fullback. I'm sure that Auburn didn't think that they'd ever run an option from that set. They came down the line, and Lynch, who came into the game with only 231 yards on the season, gets a big one right there.
Came this year to play 30 pounds lighter than last year. A little quicker. This is Williams. Nothing doing. Penetration coming by Ken Aldis, a blitzing strong safety, and he was right place, right time. The offensive front for Alabama, it's a bunch of guys still really trying to find their way, trying to become a cohesive unit. And that, if there has been a problem if you can have a problem at 10-0 on the season, that's where their problem is.
They lost 4 starters in that offensive line from the team of last year.
Dennis Riddle checks into the backfield at tailback now, out of the shotgun. Ball goes to Lynch. As the quarterback, Barker, faked it and then handed it to Lynch, and he picks up about 3 yards. Defensively for Auburn, they line up with Whitehead, Walker, Pelton, Etheridge along the front. Pelton is the bell cow up there. He's a big, tough guy, 276-pound senior from Goshen. Linebackers are all good. Harris, Miska, Mostella. The secondary particularly good and led by Brian Robinson, who leads the conference in interceptions with 7. Williams and Riddle now in the backfield for Alabama. Ball is given to Sherman. No, it's given to Riddle. Riddle is the freshman who scored the winning touchdown against Mississippi State last week. But he is short of a first down here by about 2.5 or 3 yards. And here comes the kicking team on 4th down for Alabama.
We told you that both teams were conservative, and Gene Stallings pulling out the first one. 3rd and 6 or 7. Goes for a draw play, wants to get the first points on the board. This Proctor is a good kicker.
He's hit 17 consecutive field goals from inside the 40-yard line. This will be a 36-yard try. And for the lead at 9:55 to go in the first quarter, it's no good. So Proctor, amidst all the praise, misses. We remain scoreless.
That's an old country. That's really old. Man, is that old. Only a country this young could create a car this cool. The Chevy Camaro. 2 airbags, fuel injection, and a double wishbone suspension. Hey, you're only young once. The new Camaro. It's genuine Chevrolet.
Out of all the California champagnes under $9.
So the junior place kicker Michael Proctor, who had 17 in a row inside 40, misses from 36, and Auburn comes up with the ball now, first down at its own 20-yard line. No score in the first quarter with Stephen Davis and Joe Frazier lined up behind Patrick Nix. Your wideouts are Frank Sanders and Thomas Bailey. And here's the play action fake. The ball is thrown underneath to Bailey, number 18, and he's taken down at the 25-yard line. The offensive front for the Auburn Tigers keyed by 2 tackles. Victor Riley, number 68, 310, a freshman, and Willie Anderson, 306-pound sophomore. The center is Shannon Robique. He anchors the line. It is an outstanding offensive front. And big.
Those 2 tackles, one a true freshman, as you mentioned. The other one, Anderson, played last year as a true freshman, are really good.
9:14 to go in the first quarter, and Nix gives the ball to Stephen Davis, and Davis trying to find a crack in the front. Nothing there. Picked up 2 yards, and it's going to be 3rd down and about 3. The Alabama defense, again, a younger group, trying to mold themselves together. In class years, they're not so young. Darrell Blackman getting a start today and ahead of Van Botten, who didn't make the trip, injured a knee in practice. He is the lone sophomore of the group. 3rd down with Beasley and Morrow back in there, and they work out of the shotgun on 3rd and 3. Pressure coming, passes away, passes caught by Sanders, drops the ball. Is it incomplete, or is it? It is an incomplete forward pass.
Well, Sanders, number 81, leads the conference in receptions, and Alabama knows that there's going to be double coverage on him all day. You see Townsend, number 2, a true freshman. They're throwing at the true freshman, but he had backup help behind him. Double coverage, probably see it all day on him.
Sanders is a great leaper. Here's the punt away by Terry Daniels. Another good kick back to the 25-yard line. Goes to Shea Townsend, young man that Bob was talking about. And he shows some patience and poise there as he comes all the way back across the 40. So Alabama again has good field position. CFA College Football on ABC Sports is brought to you by Chevrolet. The cars and trucks 36 million people depend on every day. Genuine Chevrolet. UPS, the package delivery company more companies count on. And Magnavox. Hey, we make technology people want. Magnavox, smart, very smart. Jay Barker is sacked behind the line of scrimmage by Willie Whitehead. Number 90, the senior from Tuskegee. So there will be a loss from the 40. Well back near the 30. Put it down on the 22. And call it second down and about 17.
A little bit out of character for Alabama throwing on first down. That is not something that they've done a lot this year, but I'm sure that's something they thought that Auburn would not be expecting.
Little flip pass to Sherman Williams. Auburn's defensive flow cuts him off at the pass, and he gets up to about the 35-yard line, and he's taken down. Now let us check in with John Saunders.
Keith, one of the wildest games of the day, North Carolina against Duke in the ACC at their own 29. Mike Thomas going deep to Octavius Barnes, and he stays down the sidelines and takes it to the end zone for the touchdown. It was 41-38 at that point. Duke tried a 58-yard field goal, didn't get it, lose by 1. Keith.
Thank you, John. That incidentally goes as a completed pass for Jay Barker. He now becomes Alabama's all-time completion leader. That ball is drilled hard, but there's very good coverage by Chris Schelling on Curtis Brown. And Schelling coming around, got a hand in front, and Brown could not get control of it. And so now Alabama's going to have to punt it, and Auburn should come out of this one with pretty good field position. Brian Deal will be hitting it with Thomas Bailey receiving it for Auburn.
I suspect these punters are going to be doing a lot of work today.
Yep. And they're both pretty good. That's a high hanger. Got wet. It was up there so long. Fair catch, 26-yard line. First down for the Auburn Tigers. No score in the first quarter of play. Next Saturday, 12 noon Eastern Time, another intrastate Donnybrook between the Florida Gators and the Florida State Seminoles. The ball game will be played in Tallahassee, followed by the Skins game at 3:30 Eastern Time for Payne Stewart, Fred Couples, Paul Azinger, and Tom Watson. All right, from the 27-yard line, Notre Dame USC will be Saturday night as Auburn comes to the attack. And Nick back to throw it, lets it go down the sidelines. The pass is too long as Frank Sanders was well covered defensively by Tommy Johnson, the boundary quarterback for Alabama, and there's your first penalty flag of the day. Sanders at 6'2" has a size advantage over Tommy Johnson at 5'10", as well as Shea Townsend at 5'10", plus the fact Sanders is a great leaper.
There's going to be some opportunities for Sanders to have one-on-one coverage.
Personal foul, roughing the passer on the defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
So the Alabama defense makes a mistake. Somebody a little eager, a little wrapped up in the emotion of the moment.
Alabama is the least penalized team in the conference, but that is a good call right there.
Matt Parker it was that last little push that got him.
Play action pass on first down. There's going to be some opportunities for one-on-one coverage. Yes, he hit him up high too.
Yep, that'll get you every time. First down. As Nix goes back to throw again and goes deep, and there's nobody at home. Nobody there. This time they put Nix on the ground with number 91, Damian Jeffries, doing it. And he obviously must have been looking for one of the speedsters going down on a fly pattern, and there was nobody there.
Misread on the receiver and the quarterback worked together.
After the game, Genuine Chevrolet's MVP from each team, 24th year through the Chevrolet Scholarship Program, $1,000 given to the General Scholarship Fund of each school. Stephen Davis, 6'2", 223-pound junior from Spartanburg, checks back into the lineup now.
Each team gets to use their own football, so Alabama doesn't have to use the ball that says Auburn on it.
Here goes Davis. He fumbles the ball. Alabama recovers it. He lost the ball on the hit. Sam Shade covered the loose ball. And the turnover gives the Tide possession at the Auburn 47.
Little toss sweep, a play that Auburn has made a living on. The ball comes out. Auburn leads the conference in turnover margin at plus 15. But Davis creates the first turnover here today.
Michael Rogers was the man who hit him. Alabama goes with Williams and Lynch in the backfield. This is Williams looking for a track. Finds about 4 as he works his way down inside the 43. 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. Alabama had a chance, missed a 36-yard field goal. Auburn in its last offensive possession trying to stretch the field a bit, throwing deep a couple of times.
I think that's a good philosophy, Keith. Auburn needs to get Alabama off the line so they can run them with it.
Williams again, and he's going to lose this time back to the 44-yard line. A terrific play by Gary Walker, a senior out of Livonia, Georgia.
The 2 tackles for Auburn, Walker and Pelton, are just outstanding. In fact, they have 19 sacks between them. Usually you don't see tackles, defensive tackles, who are on the inside of the defensive line making all those plays.
Big upset just went by there. West Virginia beat Boston.
Yes, I saw that.
3rd down and 7. Jay Barker throws a bullet. Pass is caught for a first down by Curtis Brown. And the ball will be marked down inside the 35 at the 33. And Jay Barker is now Alabama's all-time attempt leader, passing Scott Hunter.
Brown's just going to run a shallow crossing route right across. He is really the outlet. Barker was looking downfield and just got rid of the ball. Going to see the protection breaks down. Auburn leads the conference in quarterback sacks.
First down for the Tide, 33-yard line. This is Williams. Not much. And again, let's go to John. Some things are starting to happen out on the West Coast.
Well, Keith, the plan is simple. If Oregon wins, they're headed to the Rose Bowl up against Oregon State today. Danny O'Neal to Gino Filiot, 18 yards, 7-0. The Ducks have the lead. Keith.
Oregon State, of course, one of the few wishbone teams in the country. Jerry Pettibone.
Some good quarterbacks come out of Auburn, too. That O'Neal kid looks pretty good to me.
Barker threw it behind him. He had his man, the tight end, Rod Rutledge, and he tried to whip it between defenders, and he threw it behind him.
Threw it too hard. That's right. The timing was not right. Rutledge is the 3rd string tight end. Doesn't get too many balls thrown to him, and should have hung in the open area.
Gene Stallings, you see the record there, 59-1, and I would say to you folks that in the time that he's been there, that 50 wins is the fastest any coach at Alabama other than Frank Thomas has ever accomplished. 3rd down and 8. Barker has time, gives the ball away to Lynch. He shakes the tackler, still going, got a first down out of it. That's a good tough run by Terrence Lynch out of Town Creek as he puts the ball just inside the Auburn 20. Tigers had some shots at him, but they didn't get him.
Yeah, Lynch is the fullback, Keith, but he stays in on third down and passing situations, not because he can block, which he certainly can do, but he is a very good receiver. In fact, coming into the game, was the second leading receiver with 27 for the Crimson Tide.
Ended up the middle. Number 33, Ed Sissom, a freshman, comes off the bench cold, gets handed the ball on the 19-yard line against the arch rival Auburn and makes a big play.
There's a look at Alabama. They have scored 29 of the 33 times inside the 20.
Both teams very, very good inside the so-called red zone.
I like to call it the green zone.
Me too. This is Williams. He's gone. Touchdown.
Here's a look from behind the defense from the other side of the field. The wide receiver is going to come in and get a nice block. Right there, the man misses the tackle, and Williams in with the first score.
Michael Proctor has a very long extra point string going at 94. And he makes it. So he's got 95 in a row. And at 2 minutes and 38 seconds to play in the first quarter, Alabama goes to the lead 7-0.
Go back and take a look. The linebacker on this side is going to be blitzing. Watch as the outside receiver is going to come in and get a nice block here. And the man carrying the ball, Williams, is just going to bounce to the outside. Linebacker inside, the fullback takes care of him. Now we get the safety on the force. That causes the corner to come up and play tackle football, something that they like to play coverage and not tackle so much. Nice job of execution by the Tide.
Aerial coverage of today's game and surrounding Birmingham area provided by the MetLife Blimp Snoopy 1. MetLife Blimp cruising at speeds of 35 miles an hour in a quiet sky today. Nothing but blue at the background. Up there about 1,200 feet. William Watts will kick off to Thomas Bailey. Oh, Terry Bowden, who's had such extraordinary success. Sees his team down now by a touchdown. Watts kicks it. Gets it way up in the air. Not all that deep. Taken at the 9 by Gaucher. And Gaucher up to the 24-yard line. And let's check in with our colleague Lynn Swann.
Well, Keith, coming into this ball game, Alabama wanted to cut back on the number of its offensive plays because they weren't happy with the execution. They wanted fewer plays on offense and better execution. I talked to Homer Smith before the game began, and he said, you know, when you come into a ball game undefeated, it's always good to have a little something to worry about. He said, offensively, we have not played our best ball game, but today could be the day. Keith?
So far, so good. This is Stephen Davis. And he's wrestled down after a yard or so. Auburn had a couple of big outings. Perhaps their best game might have been against Mississippi State. The game they played against Florida in Gainesville wasn't bad.
Oh, yes.
But they went a little flat last week, and they got tied by Georgia.
Let's look at the scoring drive for Alabama. 8 plays following the fumble.
Ball at 2nd down and 9. Ball just across the 25. Both these quarterbacks are pretty good-sized fellows. Nick stands in at 6'2", 198. They don't mind taking a little lick now and then. He wants to go to the sideline, and he's very lucky to get it back because Deshae Townsend had a much better opportunity to catch the ball than did Thomas Bailey, the intended receiver.
Now they're going at the true freshman, Townsend. is playing this year for the first time. Of course, he's been playing for 10 games now. I don't know if you can say he's a freshman, but doing very well out there on the corner, and they're throwing at him. They've thrown at him a couple of times already.
Penn State, you see, won rather comfortably today against Northwestern. They have now Michigan State remaining for a perfect regular season on their way to the Rose Bowl, which you'll see here on ABC Sports, January 2nd. Nix, here they come.
Good
Got his
ball.
screen working. All thrown to Harold Morrow. Penalty flag back on the field, and Morrow will have a first down for Auburn, but let's see about the penalty. Probably either blocking illegally or holding, and it's holding. You see it thrown in that kind of a neighborhood, and it's almost a certain call.
Well, we're going to have a screen to the left side, but watch right here, number 71 on the pass protection. That's the big tackle, Anderson, as he sets up. Watch him take him down right here.
Yep.
And the official, the linesman on that side of the field is looking at nothing but the in man on the line, and he'll see that every time. But it's a nice call.
Here's Terry Bowden and his record in his second season at Auburn. Of course, you know that his brother Tommy is on the staff behind him as the offensive coordinator. Everybody knows who his daddy is. His daddy's named Bobby. He comes from pretty good bloodlines, I'd say.
Pretty good stock there.
Yes, indeed. This is Stephen Davis, big youngster from South Carolina. He gets back to the 25, but that's far and away removed from the first down marker, and the Tigers will have to punt. And Bobby Bowden, all those youngins doing pretty well, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Low line drive, long kick, runs Townsend back inside the 25 to the 23.
Reverse.
Gives it on the reverse, got a block on the corner. No, down he goes at the 30. It's Tommy Johnson, the cornerback. It was a 52-yard punt, and it's a good thing that one Auburn man was left over there.
Schilling, yes.
Yep, he might still be running.
Exactly right.
So Chris Schelling saves a real big play right there with a tackle on the sidelines. Tomorrow, 1 Eastern, noon Central and Pacific, ABC Sports, with a tribute to Martina Navratilova. Lindsay Davenport will meet Gabriela Sabatini. Singles finals, Virginia Slims. Then at 4 Eastern, we'll have the Sudafed Skate America International tomorrow here on ABC Sports. Here comes Bama. They fake the reverse this time, and keeping it is Williams. Penalty flag goes down as Williams crosses the 40. The flag was thrown about the 35. Well, both teams now making some mistakes here in the closing minutes of the first quarter, with Alabama leading 7-0. And they're going to back to tie it up a bit here.
Talk about Terry Bowden and Bobby Bowden. I was talking earlier, I said with the success that Terry has had, that kind of bodes well for Tommy, who is the offensive coordinator. If somebody's looking for a head coach, they're going to say, wait, Bowden's been successful. Bobby's been successful. Terry's is a son. Any other Bowdens there coaching? Let's go after Tommy. There's the booth. Tommy Bowden is up there.
So the penalty moves the ball back to the 25. They freed the arms of the offensive lineman, and lo and behold, here comes that illegal use of hands call. It's become prevalent.
Too much grabbing and wrapping.
Yep. First down and 15. As Jay Barker has a man down the middle of the field, wide open. It's Malone. Todrick Malone. It's a foot race to the goal line. It is touchdown. No flag. .74-yard pass run. Jay Barker to Todrick Malone. The extra point try by Michael Proctor. Good.
coaching here. Here's Malone right here. He's just going to release inside and go down the center of the field. There's 2 men stacked on top and beats the inside guy. Now he's just going to get the ball away from the safety. Right there, that's a little too deep to cover him. Makes a good move on Robinson and then outruns Shelling. That is nice planning. Homer Smith up in the press box, saw that, made the call. And a nice play for the Tide.
And at the end of the first quarter of play at Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama, it's the Crimson Tide 14 and the Auburn Tigers nothing. Longest pass play of the year for Alabama. Puts them up by a score of 14-0. That is the longest Parker pass play since 1991. Alabama's William Watts will kick it off. Thomas Bailey is waiting back there along with Willie Gaucher. And this one is beyond the field of play. Got a little help from the wind with that one.
Let's go back and take a look at that last touchdown. Let's go ahead and run and watch the quarterback now as he's going to drop back the pass. He's going to look over towards us. Now stop it right there. He's watch you said now. He's looking over here the whole time. The receiver's going to come from this side over here. What he's doing, he's looking off the defensive back. Still looking, still looking, still looking. Now he goes back and he finally looks back the other way. That's the mark of a quarterback that's only lost 1 game in 35 starts.
That's why he might well be a surprising high draft choice too.
He is smart.
This is Nix with a bullet. And Patrick Nix suddenly opens up and hits Thomas Bailey. A big play out to the 47-yard line. So 27 yards on that pickup.
Here's a look at the first quarter numbers. Each team has had 4 possessions. Auburn with only 1 first down. Alabama 180 yards of total offense to only 31. And one of the turnovers was turned into a touchdown for Alabama.
From the 47, first down for the Tigers. Just starting the second quarter of play. Pitch out to Stephen Davis. Got a block on the corner, then runs out of help. And he is taken down just about the line of scrimmage. Shannon Brown, 75, was the pursuer, and Tommy Johnson met him in a head-on collision.
Defense has always been the name of the game around Alabama. It's the Alabama way. It's defense, special teams, kicking game, and run the football. And this defense is not as good as the one a couple of years ago that won the championship, but it is pretty good.
The kicking game, I think, is illustrated in this fact that only 7 of 132 opposition possessions have started in Alabama territory. Patrick Nix getting pressure, tries to lob it over the head of the defender and drop it into the hands of Harold Morrow. But the junior from Maplesville can't reach it, and the pass is incomplete. Make it 3rd down and 10. No clouds, gorgeous day. Color across the mountain. And an old rivalry. They are indeed sincere when they get together for this ball game.
Oh, like none other. I haven't seen anything like this.
3rd down and 10. Blitz coming. And a flag. Ralph Staten was on the dead run. Question, did somebody move or did he get there too soon?
Dead ball foul, false start on the offense.
Yep. Offense moves, as Bill Goss defines, and Staten was in the quarterback's face.
Let's take a look and see who moves. Yeah, that was 66, Taylor. Staten, number 41, you see the blur. He was coming.
So back them up 5, make it 3rd down and 15. Hicks' pass is completed. Sanders is knocked down as shortly after he made the catch, long before he could turn it upfield with a big play in the first down, Willie Gaston, number 22, made the hit. And so the Tigers, Harry Daniel is in the punt one more time.
Again, Keith, double coverage on Sanders. They give him the short one, but nothing to pick up the first down.
This is Daniels' 4th punt of the day. Needs it high, needs to kill it deep. He's got a knuckler going deep. Fair catch is called. And Deshae Townsend just barely able to get a hand on it at about the 13-yard line. 1983, Bo Jackson led the Auburn Tigers to a 23-20 win over Alabama with 2 long touchdown runs, including this game winner, 71 yards. Bo finished the game with 256 yards, 20 carries, and the Tigers finished the season as champions. Alabama starts this possession first down at their own 13-yard line, their worst starting point so far in the ball game. They lead 14-0 with 12:47 to play in the first half. And there's maybe a yard on that carry by Sherman Williams. There is more news coming out of the Willamette Valley. Here's John Saunders.
Keith, Oregon State trying to pull off the upset. Matt Belden punting out of his own end zone. Larry Bumpus gets in and blocks it. The ball is loose. Chris Cross will then jump on it. They missed the point after this, but it's a 7-6 game right now. Oregon State hanging in there. Keith.
Yeah, they'll hang in.
A lot of times you block a punt for a touchdown, you'll win the game.
Chad Key fumbling the ball, throws on the reverse, pass complete to Jay Barker. It goes former quarterback to quarterback. The ball was pitched to Williams, given to Chad Key, who is a wideout. He throws it out of the end zone after hot fingering the thing for about 10 yards. And the play works, sort of.
Yeah, sort of. This is not a normal Alabama play. I think this was supposed to be a pass the whole way, but Barker was supposed to be further downfield, but whatever. He does a nice job of avoiding the sack and safety. That looked like that's a Homer Smith call. I mean, Gene Stollick didn't call that one.
That's called heart attack. That's Terrence Lynch. He bobbles the ball too, almost dropped the thing and finally got it upfield close to another first down. Well, I mean, fellas, you don't start dribbling the ball around inside your 20-yard line if you plan on keeping the lead. My goodness. That'll put some color in your face real quick or take it out.
Miska is a walk-on. 45, the middle linebacker for the Tigers. Led the team in tackles last year.
2nd down and 1. Lynch, who's had a busy first half. And he's got another first down. And move the chains. We go to Lynn's 1.
Keith, number 71 on the offensive line for Alabama is your center, John Cossey. Now, in this world of big offensive linemen, he's kind of small. He weighs in at a mere 260 pounds. He's given up as much as 40 pounds to opponents during the year. He's giving up a mere 24 today, but he is a key to the offensive line. And those plays, he is just handling the defensive tackle. Keith?
He doesn't know he's too little. This is Sherman Williams crossing midfield. And it's another first down. Well, I'm sure Terry Bowden and his folks are not liking what they're seeing here because Alabama's starting to move that ball on the ground.
Here's Causey, the center blocking, but watch the guard as he's going to pull, and the play is going to make, it's a little trap play off to the left side. The center gets his block, the linebacker overruns it, and Williams picks up a nice gain.
Riddle is in the backfield now on the first down snap. Barker back. Very good protection. Down the middle it goes. Caught! Marcel West, touchdown!
Well, when the running game gets going, the safeties kind of creep up. And West is going to get behind Robinson, number 9. And Barker hasn't made a mistake yet. He has been on target and on fire. 3 touchdowns.
Michael Proctor for the extra point. Good. 21-0, Alabama. Amazing. Next Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, Texas and Baylor, Southwest Conference ball game. Then on Friday, a college football doubleheader starting at 11, NC State, Virginia, Texas Tech, and TCU. That's also a big one in the Southwest. And on Friday, Nebraska, #1 in the country, against Oklahoma. That'll be at 2:30 Eastern, all on ABC's college football. All right, Alabama will kick it off with Watts kicking and Bailey waiting, along with Gaucher. Again, the wind is blowing a little bit from right to left, and he knocks it out of play. Homer Smith, familiar pose. Thousands of hours sitting at his desk in that very pose, staring at the mathematics of offensive football.
Saying earlier in the week that got to get our kids ready to scratch and claw and get them ready mentally for a tough, grind them out game. Well, Homer's found a couple of weaknesses and thrown the ball for a couple touchdowns.
Stephen Davis barely able to get back to the line of scrimmage now, as the Alabama defense has gone absolutely giddy, what with the offense scoring 21 points in the first half.
And for Auburn, not much offense. They've had the ball 4 times. They've punted it 3 times. And look, they haven't had it. You've got to hold the ball. 3 plays and out, 3 and out, 2 and a fumble, and then 4 plays and a punt.
There are a lot of people around this town that bet you $40 Alabama would score 21 points all day today. There it is, with 9:50 to play in the first half. Second down and 10. Hicks throws to Sanders. Sanders is taken down in a hurry. First man to get there was Tommy Johnson, and that's going to be short of his first down. About 5 yards.
Johnson out on the island a lot of the time, going to be one-on-one with Sanders. Johnson's got 5 interceptions on the year. He's also a very good kick blocker. He's got 4 kicks that he's blocked this year.
He's got TP Johnson on his jersey because there's another Johnson, Tony Johnson, who is a wideout. Third down, call it 4. And there's contact along the line. Alabama either thrown off or anticipating. When one starts, all go. And apparently it's movement by the Auburn offensive. Here's Bill
Dead
Goss.
ball foul. Illegal snap on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
Bobby Towns is the lineman. John Borney is the side judge. Stan Murray the back judge. Butch Lambert umpire. James Bing line judge. Field judge. It's William Stanton.
There was the center did jerk the ball a little bit and really drove the rest of them. Take a look. You can't see the Alabama defenders there. That pulled the nose man right there.
You can tip it up to get your grip, but you can't move it back and forth. 3rd and 9 now as Patrick Nix, penalty flag down as Nix throws one to the sidelines. It's intercepted by Deshae Townsend, and Townsend out-leaped Thomas Bailey to make the interception. Bailey is screaming that he was interfered with, that he hit him before the ball got there. There's 2 flags. Bailey might be right, but the first flag is over here on the near side.
Offsides, defense, holding, offense, penalties offset, 3rd down.
All that excitement for naught. 3rd down and 9.
Well, that's a big play in the game. Big play for Terry Bowden, because that would have been an awful field position. Turning it over to Alabama. Watch number 2. I don't see any interference there.
No
the defensive man has as much right to it as the offensive man once it's in the air. And Townsend doing a great job of battling and then jumping for that ball.
I don't think that flag had anything to do with that particular play. It was another holding call. Back goes Nix on 3rd and 9. He's going to be sacked. No chance. Blowing in, number 91, Julian Jeffries got in his face, and then other people came. Number 44 got there in a big hurry as well. That's Darryl Blackburn, who's playing the other side.
Right in the center of your screen, yeah, in the center of your screen. They had 3 guys lined up on that side, and a little confusion there in the offensive line.
Punt is out of there by Daniel. Townsend waiting for it. Ball bounces, lets it go, cost him 16, 17 yards. That old Louise coached the player. Son, catch the ball. Timeout. From the MetLife blimp, that picture of Old Legion Field, all booted up and polished up for the big game today, the Iron Bowl, from the 27-yard line. Alabama's ball. The numbers there on Jay Barker. Don't forget, he also caught a pass himself for a key first down on that 87-yard drive. Penalty flags are down all over the place. As Barker, it was a broken play. He didn't have anybody to give the ball to. And so he picked up a couple of yards. Here's your penalty. Offsides against Auburn. Tonight on ABC, world premiere ABC family movie, Olsen Twins. Great outdoors. And Martin Mull with them in How the West Was Fun. It's a cute picture. You'll enjoy it. Followed by an all-new The Commish tonight on ABC. 5-yard penalty moves the ball to the 32-yard line with 7.5 minutes to go in the first half, and Alabama leading 21-0. Alabama just blowing Auburn off the ball right now, threatening to overwhelm them. This is Sherman Williams, and he's close to the first down. Alabama opening up with big pass plays down the middle. One of them went 74 yards.
Just watching this, Keith, you know, I get the feeling that the coaching staff of Bama is one step ahead of Auburn. Whatever they're doing, Alabama's doing. They're one step ahead. On offense, they're mixing the run with the pass. They're throwing reverses in there. They've got some deep passes going. They call them at the right time. Defensively, they've got a 9-man front to stop the Auburn run. They've double covered Sanders when they're throwing the football, and they've used alignments to rush the passer. So at this point in time, I really think the players on the field for Alabama are executing very well the game plan that has been set out by Stallings and his staff.
Brother Bill Oliver, defensive coordinator. That's very revealing right there, isn't it? On second down and a half a yard, actually only inches, it's Terrence Lynch jamming in over the right side, running behind John Stevenson and Kareem McNeil for the first down. Here's Swanee.
Keith, you know, Tommy Bowden, receivers coach and offensive coordinator for Auburn, actually worked with Homer Smith when they were at Alabama together. And he said coming into this ball game, the Alabama office really wasn't running all the things that Homer could do. And what he didn't want to see was Alabama opening up, doing all the things he knew that Homer Smith had in his repertoire. Well, looks like his nightmare is just coming true, Keith.
Yep. Of course, they haven't run that many different plays. That pass could have been caught by Todrick Malone, who had that big 74-yard touchdown play. Barker had some sizzle on it, went right through his hand.
Yeah. And he had single coverage out there, too. Yep. He could have run anything he wanted to run.
So far in the game, to give you an idea of the domination by the Alabama offensive front, Williams has 10 carries for 70 yards and Lynch 5 carries for 42. That's 112 yards on the ground. That's a lot against Auburn. Second down and 10. Williams bounces outside. Once you get him going north and south, he's pretty good. Sometimes he has a little trouble making that plant and cut. MetLife blimp under the command of Captain Charlie Graham, Snoopy 1, traveling over 60,000 miles a year, covering sports events and television specials around the country. Won't have a nicer day than today. Very little wind. Got to be an easy ride. Third down and 3 for the Tide as they lead by 3 touchdowns. And timeout call by Jay Barker as he goes to the sideline. And I'm sure that Terry Broughton and his coaching folks are telling the people on their side of the field, look, if they can do it in a half, We can do better in a half. Well, that gives you some perspective, but when you look at something like that, don't clap your hands and think about a nap. Because this is the Alabama-Auburn game. You don't go to sleep in this one. 5:45. 3rd down and 4. And Barker's pass is caught by Rod Rutledge. May have been thrown a little hard. Both Auburn man and Marcellus Mostello and Mostella tumbling into the crowd, but he's fine. Here's Brian Deal into punt now on the 38-yard, his first effort of the day. High kick. Bailey. Penalty flag. And the ball is out of bounds up around the 30, but let's see about the penalty.
Pushing the back.
Pushing in the back again. That punt 40 yards, add the flag to it. The Tigers got a bad starting point. Put it all the way back on the 8-yard line.
Tigers have had the ball 6 times in the first half. They have punted 5 of those times, and the other time was a fumble that led to a touchdown. In any of their possessions, they have not had the ball more than 4 plays.
This is certainly no place to get too wild with your offense. Hand the ball over to Harold Morrow, and Morrow gets out for about 2, maybe 3 yards before Ralph Staten takes him down.
Let's look at around the country and see what the top 10 teams are doing. The top 25 teams. Auburn is losing here. Nebraska is idle. Virginia Tech lost. Michigan lost. Boston College was upset by West Virginia. BYU is losing.
USC must have the lead over UCLA. Huh? That looked like it might be a bump in the road for them if they weren't careful. Joe Frazier and Stephen Davis checks back in. Pitch it to Davis. There's the block by Frazier. Tries to cut it back inside. They've been doing that with great success all year. Frazier did his job, but the pressure was coming from the inside pursuit. And number 22, Willie Gaston, got him.
Florida's a winner. See them in yellow. They won.
Change move out near the 20. First down. Morrow's in the backfield now with Davis. Davis has 7 carries, 21 yards in the ball game. And now the ball was thrown out of bounds. He looked at that, got good play action. Everybody in the world was going with the flow and the fake except for 91, Damian Jeffries.
That's a nice play by Jeffries not to go with the play fake. Holding your responsibility. This is called discipline. Left side of your screen, everything went away. Jeffries still, he had containment. He didn't let the quarterback get outside. They called that play thinking that they would be able to get outside, and they were not. Good discipline play by Jeffries.
Patrick Nix now 6 out of 12, 54 yards. This is Stephen Davis. And wherever Stephen Davis goes, there's going to be 2 red elephants chasing him apparently all day. He's done very little so far because he's had people all over his back, and that was Michael Rogers.
We said at the beginning, Davis comes in, the leading rusher in the SEC. He's had 6 games of over 100 yards of rushing and having his problems here today.
It's 3rd down and 8, and Auburn trying to convert for the first time on 3rd down. This will be their 6th try. too long. Bailey couldn't chase it down. And so they'll have to punt again. Frustration showing a bit there on Patrick's face.
The problem is, Keith, he's reading the receiver to do one thing. These receivers has options. They can go down 15 and curl, or they can take the middle of the field. He's reading it one way, and the receiver is reading it another.
6th punt of the day for Terry Daniel. Last one was a 60-yarder with a whole lot of roll on it. I would imagine Townsend has been told by now, try to catch it. Low line drive. He's got some run room. Gets a block. Now runs out of help. Goes down on the 39-yard line. Prudential halftime report. John Saunders scores and highlights from around the country at the halftime. 45-yard punt and a 5-yard return. Put the ball on the 39-yard line. 3 minutes and 1 second to go in the first half. The Golden Eagle. War Eagle. All kinds of legends about how all that came about. Parker, a lot of time, too high. It was Malone coming across on a crossing pattern coverage by Del McGee, and the ball was overthrown. One of the unusual gatherings for today's ball game, and people gathered in parties all over the region, I'm sure, to watch the game on television, those who didn't have tickets. The Homewood Dawson Memorial Baptist Church was one place, had a 9 by 12-foot screen, and the Reverend was figuring on he might need up to 500 hot dogs. Ball goes to Terrence Lynch. Oh, he's taken down with some authority by Chris Schelling, number 4. A lot of stories about the intermixing of these two universities. During Terry Bowden's time as the head coach at Samford, his secretary was Barbara Barker, Jay Barker's mom. Terry had Jay in his football camp when he was a youngster in high school. Thought he had him headed for Samford. But then Gene Stallings came to the capstone, started selling, and got Dave Barker. And you know the rest of the story, as Paul would say. There's a high looping pass thrown downfield, out of bounds, incomplete. And so that'll bring up a kicking down for Alabama. Brian Deal. He's been known with good field position to pull it down and take off. He has some license for that. And this time Bailey is able to get it back across the 30 and out of bounds at the 32. His license gets in suspension trouble only when he fails to make it.
When the punter doesn't make the first down, then he's got to answer to the coach.
All right, 1 minute and 57 seconds to play in the first half. Might not seem all that terribly important. You figure they might just sit on them. They might not. What if Auburn takes it and sticks it in the end zone going to the clubhouse?
The Auburn offense has not done a thing here today.
They have not been beyond Alabama's 49-yard line. Patrick Nix is hit just as he throws, and it's incomplete, and it's Darrell Blackburn, a sophomore out of Huntsville, who hit him first.
And the reason they haven't done anything is, like I mentioned before, that Alabama has just been one step ahead. They've got a couple of new wrinkles on defense. They've been pressuring him when he's throwing the ball, and they've stopped the running game. There have been nothing on the ground for Auburn.
If Oregon wins, they go to the Rose Bowl to face Penn State. They've not been there since '57. Southern California, USC, if they win out against UCLA and Notre Dame, might very well face the Southeastern Conference champion in the Sugar Bowl. Andy Fuller, the tight end, makes a catch. But he is taken down before he can take a breath by Ralph Staten. The only other game, I guess, in which Andy Fuller was much of a factor was Mississippi State game. He caught some balls there.
Well, he caught
Florida.
And Florida. In fact, he caught 7 against Florida. He came into the game with only 12 receptions, 7 of which were at Florida. So they don't throw to the tight ends very often. He used the block.
It is 3rd down and 11. Ball on the 30. 21-0 Alabama. 1:10 to play in the first half. Nix throws it up. Didn't have any choice. He had 2 people in his face. One of them was number 94, Kendrick Burton, at 6'5". He had to throw it high.
Yeah, he had to get rid of the ball. He's looking at the defensive line. He is rattled by the rush. He is looking at the line and not downfield, and he is a major job at halftime is for Terry Bowden to settle down his quarterback. Nix 7 of 16 at 52 yards. He is not used to having thrown 16 passes in the half, at least in the first half anyway.
Harry Daniel to punt it. Patrick Malone now is deep. Here is a play for field position. They go for Malone's speed here, and he has to call a fair catch because the coverage is good. And there's a penalty flag back up around the line of scrimmage. So hold everything. 46-yard punt. Holding against Auburn. Ain't much going good for the Tigers here in this first half.
Terry's not used to losing. He hasn't lost since he's come over from Samford. Said, I lost a lot though the first 9 years I was coaching at Samford and at Salem. He said it didn't mean much then because it was small schools and nobody noticed. But that's how he learned to be a head coach at those small schools, going through the same types of things that you go through at a major school. But like he said, nobody noticed.
But at the same time, you can do it and get the wisdom and experience that goes with it without a bunch of wolves on your back.
That's what he was saying. That's where he learned to coach.
It'll be a 14-yard penalty. Auburn's been flagged 5 times now for 39 yards. Well, once again, Malone stays out there to field the punt. With his quickness, he can pop one and give him field position with 52 seconds to play in the first half. High kick. A little bit of room here. He'll try it. Almost got it turned upfield, but it was Harold Morrow, the fullback, coming downfield and made the tackle on him at about the 47-yard line. 40-yard punt and a 9-yard return.
Auburn looks whipped. They look like they need to get in at halftime, and for Bowden to really give them something to come back out in the second half and play for. They look like the little brother that this series, you know, Alabama's always seemed to be the big brother. Auburn was the little brother. They better be careful here because Alabama has 39 seconds and they're in on the Auburn side of the field. They could score another one.
Or give Proctor a chance. Own leg. Parker, gotta hurry. Now he ran out of time. There was nobody. Well, he had Malone under, but by the time he saw him, he didn't have a chance. Alabama with 2 timeouts remaining. I don't know whether it's times out or timeout. Seems to me it ought to be times out. But then, there you go. There, whatever it was, they just spin it. Clock stopped with 27 seconds to play in the first half.
Saturday on a...
Ah, yes, good food, good times. Ah, yo. They do enjoy themselves. Loss on the play is about 3 yards, so it'll be second down and about 13. Ball resting at the 49 now of Alabama. Marcus passes away and much too long. It was intended for number 85, Curtis Brown. It was well defended by Del McGee. Clock remains in the 20s, however, at an even 20 seconds to go. And that's the Southeastern Conference West. Not much going on, is there? No. LSU and Tulane. Curdy Hallman, of course, has been fired at LSU, and they're starting to look for another coach. And the SEC East, Florida's won, Tennessee's won, and South Carolina has won. Third down and 13 as the ball gets down to the 47-yard line, and I guess they're going to be happy to go to the clubhouse now with the score at 21-0. Alabama leading Auburn. And timeout was called by Auburn. So it's fourth down, and I guess Terry wanted to have a chance, see what they could do with the punt return.
Yeah. Or punt block.
Or block, yeah.
Make them punt it.
So it wasn't a very crisp 52 seconds of offense by Alabama there. Sort of wobbled around on getting the quarterback sacked on the first play. And any chance of additional scoring was lost. Now, if there is to be any additional scoring, it'll come from the folks wearing white, the Auburn Tigers. 8 seconds remaining in the first half. It was 1971, the only other time that these two teams came to this ball game undefeated. Alabama won that one. Brian Deal comes out. Thomas Bailey will be the deep man for Auburn. They peel back for return, but I don't think they'll have much luck with this one because it's knocked way back into the end zone. And time has run out. The first half is over, and it's Alabama 21, Auburn nothing.
CFA College Football on ABC Sports. Brought to you.
And folks were sort of shaking their head. And then all of a sudden, here comes a deep post with Marcel West going 49 yards for the touchdown.
Look at this throw. You think Barker is not having a good day? They don't ask him to throw it a lot, but he is putting it right on the money. And they
CFA College Football on ABC Sports. Brought to you.
And folks were sort of shaking their head. And then all of a sudden, here comes a deep post with Marcel West going 49 yards for the touchdown.
Look at this throw. You think Barker is not having a good day? They don't ask him to throw it a lot, but he is putting it right on the money, and they is big money today.
And it is a 21-0 lead that Alabama carries into the second half of play. We'll hear from Lynn Swann in just a moment as he has had conversation with Terry Bowden coming from the locker room. Matt Hawkins will kick it off for Auburn. Alabama will have the ball first in the second half, and the lights are on as he takes it at the 1-yard line. And coming back up, it's West, who had the 49-yard touchdown reception, and he runs it back to the 42-yard line. Here's Swanee.
Well, Keith, you have to admire Terry Bowden. When I talked to him, he was very forthright, honest. He said, we have had breakdowns in every phase of our game, offensively, defensively, in the kicking game. He said much of the credit has to go to Alabama. They have set the tempo on both sides of the ball. He then said, we have scored 21 points before in the second half. We cannot panic, but we have to go out, execute, and take our game to Alabama and stop sitting around. This ball club was very tight, Keith, when they started.
All right, we'll see what happens. Alabama starts it from the 38-yard line. And this is Sherman Williams. And he starts it off with another big run. All the way down to the 42 on the Auburn side of the field, and a first down. Halftime numbers.
Halftime numbers mostly in favor of the Tide. Big numbers, 278 total offense to only 76. Auburn with only 3 first downs in the first half.
All right, Dennis Riddle checks into the backfield now for Alabama. And on first down from the Tiger 42, Barker changing the play, gives it to Riddle. And a little bit of snapping and cracking as he reaches the 38, where Brian Robinson takes him down.
Each team had the ball 8 times in the first half. You see there on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th possessions for Alabama, they went on a hot streak, scored 3 touchdowns, and that is the score of the ball game, 21-0, Alabama.
Williams is a senior. Riddle is a freshman. A lot of space between those two. Williams is back. He's got the ball. Got a block. Almost. Jason Miska.
The first half. Excuse me, Keith. Let me just say the first half numbers. Barker was 6 of 13 and 151 yards, 2 touchdowns. Williams has 75 yards, and Malone and West both with a big touchdown reception.
And Williams slammed in there to get the first down, moved the chains. He's got 13 carries. He's got 102 yards. You see the defensive stats for Auburn. But Alabama's Sherman Williams is having a big day. Barker still got it. Throws. Key. Can't hold it. Coverage by McGee. He had the matchup that he wanted over there with Chad Key against Del McGee. McGee's only 5'8", and Chad Key is a lanky 6'4". But it didn't work.
McGee just closed the cushion. The ball didn't get there quite on time, and he made a nice play.
Curtis Brown coming in for Alabama now at the wideout position, just starting the second half of play with the Crimson Tide leading the Tigers 21-0. Ball is on the 31-yard line, second down and 10, the Auburn 31. And Sherman Williams going no place that time on a little delay in the middle. At number 50, Mike Pelton was right there.
Pelton's
a fella from Goshen.
Yeah, he was a middle linebacker a couple of years ago, and when Pat Dye was fired and things weren't going well around here, he went home for Christmas break and was really depressed. In fact, he ate so much that he ate himself out of the middle linebacker job. When he came back, they moved him to defensive line. Now he's a quick defensive lineman. It's the best thing that could have happened to him.
Third down, about 10.5. Barker looking around, now throws. Pass is completed to Haight for a first down. The tight end carries it inside the 20 to the 17. Patrick Haight, who must have been the 4th option on the play.
He wasn't even an option, Keith. He is the tight end, and the tight ends have not caught many balls this year. Only 5 passes for Haight. Watch his Barker now. Looks to his left and looking around. No, it's too late. He's covered. Let me just give it to my tight end. He's coming across. He'll be happy after this. I'll feed him the ball. He'll probably block good for me the rest of the ball game.
That is the 7th different receiver. Ball is handed off to Tarrant Lynch, and he finds his way to about the 15. Pickup of 2 yards on the carry. There was a moment I thought that Patrick Haight showed clear indecisiveness about what to do with it once he had caught the ball.
Well, that was it. He thought about he might make a good offensive guard or tackle. He's 250 pounds. Lynch is hobbling off the field.
Ball is at the Auburn 15. Second down and 8.
It's a big drive, Keith, for both teams. Auburn needs to stop them here if they've got a chance to win this game, and Alabama would like to just jam it right in.
It could be a will breaker. This is Riddle caught behind the line of scrimmage as the Tiger defensive flow is very good. And the man coming up to make the hit is Jason Miska, 45, the first fellow to get there. Moss is back to the 19.
Miska is the middle linebacker right here, and he's not even going to worry about the reverse fake. He's just going to go with the flow. He avoids the block of the center right there, beats the center, saw the flow going, and just reacted. It's good, smart play by the middle linebacker.
3rd and 12. They got him.
Ball's loose.
Auburn gets it. He tried to deliver it to get an incomplete out of it, and he never got the arm going before the ball was out. Mike Pelton wrapped his big frame around it, and the Tigers have the ball.
Auburn sends 5 guys on a little half blitz, tries to stop his motion and did, and then dropped the ball when the ball hit Belzer, the guard.
So Auburn's defense does its job. Now the crowd comes up trying to help the home team. Frazier and Davis in the backfield. Give it to Davis. He's got some daylight. He's got a big play all the way out to the 48-yard line. Gain of 20 yards, his longest of the day by far.
From behind the offense, take a look at the offensive line. Number 60, Thomas, is going to get a nice block on the linebacker. Frazier, number 5, is helping out, but there's a huge hole there. Davis breaks the tackle of Gaston. It's a big play for Auburn coming out second half.
They'll give him 19 yards. I don't know why, but that's all he got. And he got it again. Once he gets going, he's like all good running backs. The more you give them the ball, the stronger they get.
There's no question about that. Take a look at what Auburn offensively did in the first half. 8 times they had it. 7 times they punted. The other time was a fumble that led to a touchdown, but they didn't keep it very long when they had it.
Second down and 6.
If you're an offensive person, that is not pretty right there.
This is Joe Frazier, the fullback. A yard. Joe's a 5th-year senior out of Montgomery.
Nix had a tough first half, 7 of 16, 52 yards, and was rushed a lot of other times. Davis had 8 yards and 8 rushes for 23 yards, and Bailey led the receivers with 33 yards.
Auburn's got Harold Murrow in the ball game now, number 12. 0 for 7 on third down conversions. This is 3rd and 4.
Here they come.
Throws quickly. They give him the catch at the 41-yard line. Thomas Bailey. He was on the ground, but he made the catch.
Bill Oliver, the defensive coordinator, first time, 3rd and long. He's going to send his linebacker. Watch the receiver. He's going to come down and just run a quick hook. He sees the linebackers blitzing. He's looking in. He's going to go down, pick up the first down, and stop. It's a nice play for Nix. Good catch.
First down, 41-yard line. This is Davis. And Davis is taken down.
This is what Terry Bowden wanted, and it's a good moving drive, offensive drive on the first possession of the 3rd quarter, and he's getting that. He just needs to keep it going.
This is the deepest penetration of the ball game by Auburn. Ball is at the Alabama 36. It is 2nd down and 5. Frazier in front of Davis. And they whistle the play dead. Cost the Tigers 5. This week, ABC's Monday Night Football goes to the Astrodome. Have a nice trip, fellas. Wide receiver Haywood Jeffries, new coach Jeff Fisher, and the Houston Oilers hosting Dan Reeves and the New York Giants. Monday at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. 2nd down and 10. Nix back to throw. Reaching for, and they miss it. The ball is thrown intended for Sanders. Thrown in a hurry, thrown too high. So the longest sustained drive by Auburn is in session right now. But that pass missed on 2nd and 10, so they're looking at 3rd and long now. They've had 6 plays in this possession. I'll tell you the kind of day they've had so far.
Yeah. Patrick Nix starting this year for the first time. This is his 11th start. Replaces Stan White, who started for 4 years at Auburn.
Out of the shotgun, pressure coming, trying to set up a screen, gets it off to Beasley. And Beasley's got a big play. Down to about the Alabama 20-yard line. Flint has teamed up with ABC Sports to provide you with a bird's eye view of today's action. Snoopy 1, equipped with a state-of-the-art camera providing a unique view from 1,200 feet. Put the ball at the 21-yard line now. First down. Staying in the shotgun. Dixon has a lot of time to throw. Completes the pass at the 11, close to a first down. Thomas Bailey. Bailey having a big day. Alabama covered Frank Sanders very well. And that's given Bailey a lot of opportunity.
What they've done, Keith, is they've gone to the pass, gone to it on first down, gotten him outside the pocket. Here's a look at what Auburn has done inside the 20 this year. They've scored 31 of 34 times. That's awfully good.
Both teams have been very, very good in that respect. That much.
Patrick Nix over talking to Terry Bowden. Nix is the son of a coach, so he's been around football for quite a while and is very smart, knows what's going on.
Second down and inches, but down in this neighborhood, the real estate gets quite precious.
Yes, it does.
Very high price.
And there's no holding back on the defense. If they want to come, they can send a bunch of them after them.
Quarterback sneak for the first down. The offensive line surge by Auburn, big there. They went for at least 3 yards. It'll be first and goal at the 8 for the Tigers. That end of the stadium is where it appears that most of the Auburn tickets are located. This is an Alabama home game. It's no longer split like it used to be, because Auburn plays their share of these games on their campus. So they only got 10,000 tickets. Morrow to the 5. So he got about 3 yards. So they're trying to tuck it away, and they're trying to move the ball behind Riley, Taylor, Robique, Thomas, and Anderson. Remember, these two big tackles are 310 and 306. These are big people.
Well, this offensive line has done a nice job all year providing some movement for Auburn runners. They came in the second leading rushing team in the conference. Alabama has not done too well stopping the run.
Going to throw it here. Throws in. It is incomplete. He's lucky to get it back. He's lucky to get it back because Sanders was covered. There were several people over there wearing red.
Top of your screen, he's just going to go down and break to the outside. Johnson, 21, is going to be there. But also Samuel, 31, could have picked it off. That was very close.
Sam Shade, one of the great names I've ever seen.
Yeah, Shade.
Football player.
Samuel's 13. I get the numbers reversed.
It is third and goal from the 5. Some will being tested right here. Gonna throw. Did he make it? No, sir. It is caught by Hicks, number 89, and he did not get it in. It is fourth down. That close.
This kid, number 89, Poor, is going to be the outlet. Slanting down, trying to get in. This kid plays for Auburn. Second year, he has never lost a football game.
Fourth down. Quarterback sneak. Touchdown. Penalty flag on the field in the end zone. It's behind the defense. Too many people on the field for Alabama.
Yeah.
Touchdown, Auburn.
It's a big drive for Auburn. First possession. From the 1-inch line, the 1-foot line, the offensive line escorts Nix into the goal, into the end zone. Big drive for the Tigers.
Well, that possession belonged to Nix, didn't it? And the offensive line. All right, Matt Hawkins for the extra point. And it's good. And at 5:03 to play in the third quarter, Auburn has put 7 on the board.
I loved him.
Kickoff by Hawkins will come from midfield. Penalty assessed on the kickoff against Alabama. Probably no return here. Auburn with 13 plays, 72 yards, getting their touchdown off a turnover. Obviously, he had the chance, and he did knock it all the way beyond the field of play. So they'll start at the 20-yard line with 5 minutes and 3 seconds to play. Prime time tomorrow, ABC. Full hour of America's funniest videos, and all you Lois and Clark that Damon Wayans and Bruce Willis will star in the network premiere of The Last Boy Scout. That's tomorrow night on ABC. The Last Boy Scout. First Auburn touchdown at Legion Field, Bob, since 1990. So you can see things are turning around a little bit here and there.
Well, they've lost the last 3 times they played here too, Keith, so you can't have many good feelings about this place.
Sherman Williams picking up 2 yards on that carry. This possession right here has got something to do with momentum and will too.
It's huge.
Yep. If Alabama could answer and put 6 on the board, it might very well be over.
Or if Auburn can stop them, that would mean that, all right, the second half belongs to us. I'm sure that Terry said something like that in the second half, the halftime to him.
Yep. But here comes Sherman Williams, breaking a play for a first down all the way out to the 39-yard line. And move the chains. First down.
First down, Alabama.
120 yards for Williams now.
Alabama 38.
Now put it on the 38-yard line, not the 39. Parker gives it to Williams again, and he's got 5 or 6 before he is chased out of bounds by Chris Schelling. Here's John Saunders.
Keith, don't count the Ducks in the Rose Bowl just yet. The Beavers might have something to say about that. Don Shanklin on the keeper. 13-10 now. Oregon State has the lead. Keith.
I tell you, that's a spooky place. You go in the favored team. It's a whew, that's a war just as big as this one.
Would that be a heartbreaking loss for Oregon?
Would it ever? This is Dennis Riddle. Shakes off one tackler and is able to turn it upfield and get a little bit out of it. When it looked like he would lose 2 or 3, he wound up gaining 2 as Gary Walker couldn't take him down. That's sunset over Birmingham.
Oh, the rabbit going over the hill.
Yes, sir. Red Mountain. You're in possum country. I remember once I introduced Jim Lampley and assorted others to a possum moon right here sitting in this very stadium. 48-yard line, third down and 1. Power play. They got it. Dennis Riddle, young freshman, 195 pounds, wrapping both arms around it, bow in his neck, and slamming into the stack and moving the pile for 1.5 yards. Coming up on 3 minutes to go in the third quarter, 21-7. Alabama jumping out in front to a 14-0 first quarter lead, 21-0 halftime. Auburn has come back to score in the third quarter. Williams is back in at tailback, has the ball. Gets down to about the 45. They're now working on the Auburn side of the field. It'll be second down at about 5.
Alabama was moving the ball in their first possession of the second half and earlier and stopped themselves really with the fumble by Barker. So Auburn defensively have not stopped them here in the second half, but the Tide have stopped themselves. doing it, a lot of that on his own. He's starting in one direction and then going off in another.
Got it again. Foot slid out of bounds just short of the 40 and a yard short of the first down. Next Saturday, Florida State. That's at noon Eastern time. Then at 3:30 Eastern, Skins game. Coupled, Stewart, Azinger, Watson. And then on Saturday night, Notre Dame and Southern California from the Coliseum in Los Angeles at 8 o'clock Eastern time. PM, that is.
I'll have you know.
Prime time. Alabama yards in the game, 181 running, 176 passing.
I wonder if Auburn knows about that stat there. Rushing yardage.
Slam into the middle, and again, Riddle bangs over the top for the first down.
This is just smash mouth football right here. It's line up, make some first downs, and Terry knows what's going on, but he just can't stop it.
He ain't playing.
He ain't big enough to play.
A little bit of a delay there for Lynch. Looked like they had him, and then all of a sudden a little wiggle, and he was gone for 3. As Alonzo Etheridge makes the tackle. Number 91. Winding down at the end of the third quarter. 21-7, Alabama. Alabama's undefeated, 10-0. Auburn 9-0-1. There's Boston. 9 plays in this possession, all of them on the ground. Second down, 7. This is Riddle. That's a pretty good play by number 96, Gary Walker, who came in, got enough of him to take away his momentum, and he got it back to about the line of scrimmage. So it'll be 3rd and 7.
There's number 50. That's Mike Pelton. He's over the center, and the guard tries to cut him off. Then the other guard tries to get a piece of him. Just doesn't give up. The ex-middle linebacker, he put on a little weight. High steps it, finds his way over there, gets a piece of the tackle. 10 sacks on the year for Pelton. Better hurry.
Timeout. So rather than take the 5 yards of penalty for burning the clock, he calls timeout with 16 seconds to play in the quarter. It's football on ABC Sports, brought to you by the all-new Chevy Blazer with its exclusive driver control system. Coming soon to your local Chevy dealer. And Quaker State 4x4 motor oil, the intelligent oil for hard-working engines. UCLA has gone to a 17-12 lead over Southern California. Third quarter, Bruins with J.J. Stokes back, different team. And Illinois, Wisconsin haven't had it in the Big Ten.
Southern Cal doesn't win. Oregon can lose and still go to Rose Bowl.
Oregon was trailing a moment ago. Jay Barker on 3rd down and 7. Got it. Curtis Brown makes the key catch. Barker took a pretty good lick, but he gets up. But he got the ball to his man Curtis Brown for a first down just short of the Auburn 25-yard line. Alabama has controlled the ball. 9 minutes and 26 seconds of the third quarter, though it was Auburn that scored in the third quarter.
Good play by Barker, too. They had a little blitz coming at him, and picks up the first down, avoids the sack, keeps the ball for Bama.
We'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC station. First and 10 as we go to the final quarter. The ball just short of the Auburn 26-yard line in possession of Alabama, with the Crimson Tide leading 21-7, and Sherman Williams cut back, finds some daylight, and is finally knocked off his feet at the 17-yard line. Now, here's John.
Well, Keith, the door is open for USC with Oregon losing right now, but guess what? UCLA might have something to say about it. Wayne Cook to J.J. Stokes, 28 yards, gets it down to about the 5. Sharmon Shaw took it in from there. 17-12, the Bruins are up. Keith.
UCLA looked like world beaters last week. They really had it going.
Stokes makes him an entirely different team.
Up man Lynch on 2nd down and 2. Trying for his 1st down, and he's close, but I don't know that he made it. Gary Walker, big 96, took it down for Auburn.
An offensive line for Alabama doing a nice job. We talked about losing 4 starters from last year's team, and this offense coming into this game really didn't have a personality. Going against the defensive line for Auburn, 4 seniors that have been around and been sacking quarterbacks all around the conference, and that line is leading the way for Alabama today.
Williams dives. I don't think he made it. They were 4 out of 4 on 3rd down conversions. Sherman Williams never really got off the ground. There was a Tiger at the top of the pile. Depends on the spot, but it does not appear from here that he is going to have it.
4th down, the referee, Bill Goss, is signaling right now he's not even going to measure.
Nope, not even bringing the chains on. Oh, there. When you convert 4 times on 3rd down in 1 possession, you are chewing up the clock.
Yep.
And that's exactly what Alabama's been doing with this possession. And they're going to go.
Well, I'm sure Gene decided that I'm going to go for it twice on running plays.
Well, Barker tries it this time. They had to get that ball just about to the 15-yard line. And that's where he has it, just about the 15-yard line. "24-7 would not be more comforting than 21-7. Of course, Proctor missed on the first try today from 36 yards. Here's your stretch. 1st down. Ooh, that was close.
Well, when you go for it on 3rd down and you run a play, you decide, well, if I don't make it on 3rd, I'll run it. I can make it. On one of the 2 running plays, I can make it. Terry knew that was a big play.
Well, so did Beebs. 15-time plays so far in it.
Even if you don't score.
Bundle of time.
Alabama's won on that drive.
Right. This is Williams inside the 5. Boy, he's pretty good on that cutback, isn't he? Watch that. He slams that right foot down, and he's going full speed on the next step.
He's cutting back. Watch as he's going to come up here, and then he's going to go all the way around the offensive line. Lynch, the fullback, is going to go up and then around. He starts inside and then goes around. Look at the blocking. Everybody has a man. Lynch knocks his linebacker 4 or 5 yards downfield. That's just good blocking.
1st and goal from the Auburn 4. Williams taken down at the Auburn 7. Number 96, Gary Walker, with his 2nd big play in this Alabama possession.
That time, Auburn got across the line of scrimmage.
Didn't get anywhere near it. Whacked it.
Here's the 3rd quarter stats. Look at the Alabama rushing and passing yardage, 186 yards. That's called balance.
2nd and goal from the 7. Williams, nothing doing. He's back at the 9. Marcellus Mostella brought him down, a sophomore from Gadsden. So Williams in the last 2 plays has lost 5 yards.
Well, and one of the reasons is that the defense of the Tigers is getting across the line of scrimmage. They're not waiting, they're coming across. 47, Mostella is right there. He plays off the block and then gets across the line of scrimmage.
Look what I found.
Yeah.
Third and goal from the 9. Pass. Yep. Walker, last time, throws into the end zone. It's intercepted. Picked off by Brian Robinson. His 8th of the season. And Auburn Tigers have the ball out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. 18 maybe. So a turnover by Alabama. They come away empty. 19 plays they run. They get no points.
Yeah, this is news, too, because Barker doesn't throw many interceptions. And one of the things that Auburn was good at all year was sacking the quarterback and picking off passes. Robinson, as you mentioned, had 7 coming in. He ran 1 back for a touchdown. He's ran 3 back for touchdowns in his career. Parker didn't see him. Barker didn't see Robinson, was only looking to the outside.
They start at the 19 with Davis and Frazier in the backfield behind Patrick Nix. 21-7 ball game. Nix pumps it. Nix throws it. He's got a guy. He's got Bailey. Thomas Bailey. All the way down to the Alabama 33-yard line. So Auburn trying to strike quickly. Goes big, and they get a big result.
And they're picking on the true freshman. Look out here, one-on-one, he's going to run a little hook route and then goal. The freshman, Townsend, bites on it. If this ball is thrown properly, it's a touchdown. Get it out in front of him. He has to wait for it, and then the gang catches up.
33-yard line of Alabama, first down Auburn. This thing is turned completely around right here. Carrying the ball is Joe Frazier, 3 yards to the 30.
Barker had thrown only 2 interceptions coming into this game.
The one advantage of that last possession for Alabama was they used 9 minutes and 53 seconds of time.
There's no question about that, but you hate, given that, you hate to get that far down and not get any points on the board.
3 would have been big. Stephen Davis. First man there was number 98, Matt Parker, the junior out of Lawton, Oklahoma. They were in the 4th quarter in Corvallis, Oregon, and Oregon State with a 3-point lead over Oregon. UCLA with a 12-point lead now over USC in the 3rd quarter in Los Angeles. The Rose Bowl hanging on a limb and kind of dangling around out there tonight, isn't it? 3rd down and 6 now for Auburn, just inside the Alabama 31. Nix with a pass, complete to Andy Fuller, the tight end, and he's got a first down. Fights his way inside the 15. They're going to call him stopped. One man's got it marked at the 16, one man's got it marked at the 14, and they'll put it at the 16.
Go from behind the defense. Fuller, number 82, right there, fakes the block. Little play action fake. Jeffries, as he did earlier in the game, gave Nix a problem, but this time he gets the ball off to Fuller, and it is a first down. It's a big drive, Keith.
Big tight end. Fuller ran over Willie Gaston, and Willie is the man that's hurt. So you got timeout for Willie for a moment. 8 minutes and 33 seconds left to play in the game. Tomorrow, 1 Eastern, 12 noon Central. ABC Sports tribute to Martina Navratilova's brilliant career. Lindsay Davenport plays Gabriella Sabatini in the singles final, Virginia Slims Championships. 4 Eastern time, you've got the Sudafed Skate America International tomorrow here on ABC Sports. First down Auburn at the Alabama 16-yard line. A 21-7 game that the Tigers stick it in here. Oh boy, Alabama was all the way down first and goal on the Auburn 4 and came away with nothing.
I've been impressed the second half with Patrick Nix, the way he's come back after a tough first half. Throwing the ball here in the second half.
Hands the ball to Davis, and he's short of the line of scrimmage. It's number 92 that belted him coming in, Tyrell Buckner, sophomore from Denison, Texas.
This Alabama defense, Keith, you go down through the years, in the 90s, they have been the best defense in the country. That's why they have been so good.
It is 2nd down and 12. And Willie Gaston is back in the ball game, number 22.
Bama defense is awfully tough in the 4th quarter. Only 13 points all year allowed in the 4th quarter.
Pat McNix out of the shotgun. Passes it, batted down, and intercepted by Damian Jeffries. What a play! Holy cow! Boy, when something like that's happened, you just don't know what in the world to do. Watch this play.
91. He can't get there, so he sees it's a quick throw, so he jumps in the air, gets his hand on it. The tackle on that side should keep contact with him so he can't get his hands up. Great play. Quickly, I can't get to the quarterback, so let me get some separation from my offensive tackle, and I can jump up and knock the ball down. You didn't expect to catch it, but that is his 2nd interception of the year.
Like hitting your thumb with a hammer on the last shingle. This is Sherman Williams. Slamming in there for 7 yards. And let's get some more news about the West Coast shaking from John Saunders.
Keith, you already gave the score. Here's how it happened. USC trying to hold UCLA, but Wayne Cook having a terrific day. His 2nd touchdown pass. This one to Jim McElroy with a nice catch in the back of the end zone. 30 yards on the play. 24-12. Keith.
Wow. So
that offense that they're running, probably a lot of the remnants of Homer Smith when he was out there.
Question. 2nd down and 5. This is Sherman Williams. 1st down. Works his way across the 45 and up to the 47. Oh, it's another one of consequence for Sherman Williams. Move the chain. 6:50 to play in the game. It has ebbed and flowed to here in the 2nd half. Alabama won the 1st half 21-0. Auburn leads the 2nd half 7-0. But overall, it's Alabama. 16 different possessions in the 1st half, Bob.
Yeah.
5 in the 2nd.
Just what I was adding up. It's so different. I mean, in the 1st half, you couldn't make 1st downs. The punters were out there all the time. In the 2nd half, they've had 4 possessions, and they've just come up and down the field, and this is the 3rd one right here. And
Williams has 165 yards now.
Yeah.
Got it again, and he's caught from behind this time as Chris Schelling runs him down. Well, let's run over that Thanksgiving weekend for you again. On Thursday, you got Texas and Baylor. Baylor has to win to stay in the hunt for the trip to the Cotton Bowl. Then you got Texas Tech battling TCU. Pat Sullivan, of course, the Heisman Trophy winner at Auburn, the head coach at TCU now.
Yep. NC
State and Virginia also on that day. And then on Friday, Nebraska. #1 Nebraska against Oklahoma. That's down in Norman. Dennis Riddle is the tailback now for Alabama. It's 2nd down and 11. Riddle's got it, looking around for some daylight. They get a block on Schelling, and Riddle gets just about to midfield.
Tell that Gene's got to tell that freshman not to run out of bounds when we're trying to run out the clock here. Talking to Gene last night, and he was saying that I don't think he's going to be so busy in the off-season. He says, I don't think I'm going to do as many of those banquets and those rubber chicken things. He said, there's a couple of nice streams not too far from Tuscaloosa. He says, there's good hunting around here. He says, I need to reacquaint myself with a little hunting and fishing.
He'd be in the Red River Valley. That's where he's going. Oh, Riddle got loose. I mean, he got loose almost big time. 1st down at the 35-yard line. You've got a penalty flag back around the 45-yard line, probably holding. But that's pretty good running by Riddle because he almost broke one big. But here's the penalty against Alabama. Can't do that. Can't hunker down and block him.
It's usually a wide receiver coming and blocking below the waist.
Yep.
Illegal block below the waist. offense. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat third down.
That's a big penalty.
You know, with all the hype of this game in the state of Alabama, Auburn and Alabama, Gene was saying, you know, this is not our last game. It is Auburn's last game of the year. But we've got 2 more games to play. And we've got a big one against Florida coming up in 2 weeks for the SEC championship. And he says, and that's the one we need to win.
That was the 3rd Alabama penalty in the ball game, and it comes all the way back to their 39. So it'll be 3rd down and 16. Riddle and Lynch in the backfield. I don't think they'll throw it. Riddle carries it up to the 45. Alabama is leading 21-7. You've got 4 minutes and 50 seconds to play in the game. The clock is running. They're going to punt now on 4th and 10. And if they can hold Auburn somewhere around middle of the field, I doubt very much you'll see the ball up in the air anymore.
Well, Auburn needs a big play. Auburn needs a block punt,
quickly,
a punt return. They need something very quickly to happen for them.
Ryan Deal is in to punt. Thomas Bailey is back to return it. Pretty good kick by Deal. He runs him all the way back to the 6-yard line. There's 1 block for Bailey, 2, 3, and finally down he goes at the 25-26. So Auburn will have it there, 1st down at their 26. 4:02 to play in the game.
Hello, Live.
Many moments in this rivalry where things were settled in the last few seconds, like 1986. 45 seconds to play. 18 reverse left, called by Pat Dye, and Lawyer Tillman pounded his way to the end zone as Auburn came from behind to win it 21-17. Well, they're down 21-7 right now. They have the football at the 26-yard line, their side of the field. That was the 199th career punt return for Thomas Bailey, which ties an NCAA record. Patrick Nix will work out of the shotgun. 2 wide left, 1 wide right. A lot of room in the middle of the field. And Nix picks up about 6 yards to the 32, and here's Lynn Swan.
Keith, you and Bob were talking about the Alabama defense and how well they do in the 4th quarter. Keep in mind that since Terry Bowden took over at Auburn, this unit has not scored less than 22 points only on 3 occasions. The last time they were held under 22 was October 2nd in 1993. They are very capable of getting up very quickly. Keith?
Time is now the ally of Alabama. We're inside 4 minutes. 2nd down and 4. That pass just misses. It was thrown low, and Hicks Poor, who had made the big catch, sophomore out of Marietta, Georgia, who set up Auburn's touchdown, couldn't reel that one in.
I mentioned earlier that the wide receiver there, Poor, has never lost a game. It's his 2nd year at Auburn, and Auburn hasn't lost in 2 years. But in high school, his high school never lost a game. He went to the same high school as Eric Zier.
What was that?
In Georgia. Marietta somewhere.
Clark Central or something like that?
Yeah.
That's in Athens. 37-yard line. That'll be a 1st down. You can move the chains. Chains are across the way. And the ball's marked on this side. And it is the 1st down. Road to the mythical national championship won't get any easier. You've got Alabama, Florida in the SEC title game presented by Dr. Pepper. That's in Atlanta with a trip to the Sugar Bowl on the line. And the Gators won it last year. They won it again.
You got to figure Steve Spurrier's got to be sitting down there watching this ball game with a week off.
You betcha.
Yeah.
That'll be at 3:30 Eastern Time, December the 3rd, here on ABC Sports. That pass is incomplete. It was intended for Thomas Bailey. Trojans have come back now to post 19 points. They trail UCLA by 5. There's a goodly bit of feeling in that one, too, I'll have you know. As well as that one, BYU and Utah hooking up in Salt Lake. A lot of old neighborhood scuffles going on this weekend.
Yes, sir. This is the week for him.
Yep. All right, it's 2nd down and 10 for Auburn. The ball is out at the 37. Nix runs away from the pressure, throws it, almost picked off by Sam Shade. Sam Shade stepped in front of Thomas Bailey and almost came away with it. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
Problem with Auburn is they can't give Nix time to throw. They're only rushing 4 men and he's blocking 6, but they're rushing him and getting him out of the pocket. Shade hits him at the right moment, but he needs some pass protection. Nix got to stand in the pocket.
Fair-sized play right here. Got a screen for Beasley. 1st down for Beasley. And Auburn is on the Alabama side of the field.
Nice call. Alabama dropping back into some zones. The defensive line are just teeing off and just going out of their lanes to rush the passer.
Timeouts remaining. Auburn 3, Bama 2. Time remaining 3:21. 21-7, Alabama lead. Ball is inside the 47. Patrick Nix, sideline. Knocked out at the 39 of Alabama. Pickup is about 8 yards. Hicks Poor made the catch. Poor looks like he might be one of those kind of guys that may not be the fastest fellow in town, but has that uncanny ability to get open.
And he's always going to get single coverage as a 3rd receiver because the other 2 starters are going to attract the best coverage.
They can't get much pressure on Nix right now. That ball is thrown to Frank Sanders, and he's down just short of the 30. It's another Auburn 1st down. And we're coming up to 3:07 to play in the ball game. Officially goes in the book at 1st down at the 30. Still no pressure. Ball is thrown out to Beasley. There's a penalty flag. Penalty flag thrown by the back judge way downfield. Uh-oh.
We got 12 guys on the field.
Yep.
12 players on the defense. 15-yard penalty. 1st down.
Whoa, is that big?
Well, you got 12 players out here, but the linebackers are going to blitz, and when they blitz, somebody's got to cover the back. Now watch, there's a safety right here has got to cover that back. When you blitz people, somebody's got to cover the back if he doesn't stay in. Now watch the deep safety come running way out of the secondary to cover the back out of the backfield. That's usually when you blitz, that safety is a lot closer just because of that reason. You got to get up there for your coverage. But that time, they disguised it real well.
So that's a big penalty, obviously. It's a big penalty. That's redundant. Put the ball down on the 12-yard line. Well, they got on the 13-yard line.
You need to score. You need to get the ball in pretty quickly. You can't take a lot of time down here. You certainly can't run the ball because if you run it, the clock's going to continue to run.
2 minutes and 53 seconds to play in the ball game. This time they got some pressure. Ball thrown into the end zone and out of the end zone. That ball was caught by an Alabama man, Tommy Johnson, but he was out of bounds.
They just had no time, Keith. I mean, Alabama is blitzing the house. Bill Oliver, the defensive coordinator, says, all right, you got 4 linemen. Here are the 2 linebackers, and they're sending 6 guys. When you send 6, you got single coverage all in the secondary.
Well, Frank Sanders had more than single.
Yeah, well, it's because the man that was supposed to cover the short guy fell off.
Coming again. Throws quickly. Sanders caught it. Shakes loose. Dives for the goal line. Down to the 1. The clock is running.
It's a nice call, yeah.
2:38 to play in the game.
That call beats the double coverage and also takes care of the blitz. Sanders was a kid that 2 years ago when Bowden first came here had a bad attitude and a bad disposition and was about this close to being out of here, but he straightened up and is one of the team leaders.
Quarterback sneak, touchdown, Auburn. So it's a gutty march by the Auburn Tigers, led by Patrick Nix, 19 out of 35 now, 207 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. And they get their second touchdown at 2:23 to play in the ball game.
Remember, I know Steve Spurrier watching this game knows that Auburn can throw and come from behind.
Sanders made that big catch against him.
Yes, he did.
The extra point is good. So it is 21-14 at 2:23 to play in the game. CFA College Football on ABC Sports, brought to you by Pringles. So fresh, once you pop, you can't stop. And the Norelco Razor for our closest shave ever. Quality care service at your Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealers. And the U.S. Navy. You and the Navy, full speed ahead. Matt Hawkins will kick off. It reads onside from here. Alabama's got all the good hands people up on the receiving line. And so does Auburn. There it is. There's the big bounce. Terrence Lynch, number 45, looked to be the man who went up in the air, put it on his numbers, and cradled it to the earth. And Alabama has possession with 2 minutes and 20 seconds to play in the game.
Trying to get the big bounce. It stayed down a little bit longer to allow the Auburn players to get a little bit closer. That's a nice play by Lynch to hang on.
That was a pretty good kick, though. It stayed down a good long time.
Needed to get it a little bit higher, a little bit more spin, a little higher.
All right, Alabama now may need 1 first down. Remember, Auburn has 3 timeouts remaining. There's 1 right there. That leaves them 2, stopping the clock at 2 minutes and 15 seconds to play. So if Alabama can pick up 1 first down, it would appear they can run out the clock. It's a matter of time now. Auburn 2 timeouts remaining, 2 minutes and 15 seconds to play. Alabama leads 21-14. Chad Key will go to the top of the picture. Patrick Malone to the bottom of the picture. I don't think you're going to see the ball thrown around here. It's handed off to Dennis Riddle, the freshman tailback, and he gains to about the 44. And Auburn calls for another timeout. They've got 1 left, and as you can see, 2:08 to play.
It is said he is to...
Time permitting, Thrifty Car Rental postgame report, scores and highlights across the country. Dennis Riddle, freshman tailback. Sherman Williams, who's run for 164 yards, not in the ball game. Riddle carried it on the last play. It is 3rd down and 8. Will they throw it here?
No way.
They give it to Riddle, and he runs it down to the 40. And it is 4th down, and there's a penalty flag thrown in the backfield area of Alabama. That's probably bad news. Well, let's see about it. Clock shows 1:54.
Dead ball. Start on the offense. Should not have had a snap.
You got to put some seconds back on the clock then.
Yep, they do.
It's a dead ball foul. There was no play.
UCLA has banged another one in to lead by 12 over USC. And Utah has come back to take the lead over BYU. Wisconsin's had a month to forget for a lot of reasons, but leading in that ball game. They should put some time back.
Yeah, he's just telling the clock operator to add the time back. Since it was a dead ball foul, there was no play. They just added the seconds back to 2:08.
All right. It's 3rd down and 13 now for Alabama. And the Auburn defense eats them up. So now there'll be punting, and here's John with another update from the Willamette Valley out in Oregon.
Well, Keith, I think you mentioned this one, Oregon and Oregon State. The Ducks now asserting themselves and could be headed to the Rose Bowl. Danny O'Neill to Dino Filia, second time they've hooked up today. That one 19 yards, 17-13. Keith.
Thank you, John. So the Ducks with their gangrene hanging in there. What a year for Rich Brooks. A year ago, all the talk about they were going to run him out of town. Yeah. He had to give up his athletic directorship because he couldn't handle both jobs, and it's a fearsome job, no question about it. He went back to coaching full-time and has produced a near miracle out in Eugene. Auburn now with no more timeouts remaining. Alabama will be punting. Auburn's going to get the ball with just a little less than 2 minutes to work with. Deal gets it out of there, gets a high spinner, beautiful kick. Bounces sideways, bounces sideways. It's down on the 1 foot away from the goal line. Holy smokes, what a kick. Eric Turner went down there and caught it short of the goal line.
Well, that's the Alabama way. They play defense, field position, kicking game, and a little tab at offense. And Stallings wants good kickers, good punters, and good place kickers. And when he needs it, there's where it left.
You know what? They've been taking lessons from Colorado.
And here's where it ended up.
Stoppers, boy. Whew.
Unbelievable. That ball jumped sideways. It just did. It was afraid of the end zone.
He almost stepped in, but he got away with it. So that's as far away from the Alabama goal line as Auburn could start. And Nix turns to Bill Dawson. He says, my teammates can hear my call. They're going to burn the clock on them.
That don't make no never mind. Delay a game.
It's 2 inches.
It's half the distance to the goal line. It's, you know, you're going to move it back 1/4 of an inch.
1:45 remaining to play. Pass down the sidelines just beyond the racing Thomas Bailey.
He could have hit it.
Yep.
Because Bailey did outrun the corner on that side, who was Townsend.
There's a lot of grit in these two football teams, I'll tell you that.
Auburn did it earlier this year against Florida, at Florida.
The other way, completes the pass to Beasley in the end zone. Beasley got around the corner, got out of bounds at the 15 for a first down, stopping the clock at 1:29.
It's a good play. You just need something to get you going, get you out where you got some maneuverability. Look at those eyes of Nix. You think he's not locked in and honed in on what's going on? He is a different player this half than he was the first half. He's getting a little bit better protection too.
Pass is completed out to the 27, caught by Thomas Bailey. That's another first down.
Clock stops when you make a first down.
1:21 to play.
Only long enough to move the chain, so you need to get your offensive team up there and ready to go. Alabama sitting in a 3-deep zone.
They're going to have to blitz sooner or later to get some pressure. That's Sanders. And Sanders has got 8 or 9 yards out to the 36-yard line.
Now they do these drills each and every week. This is called a 2-minute drill, and it's part of the weekly practice schedule. So Auburn has done this, and I'm sure at times they've started from within their own 5 or 10-yard line. So, and conversely, Alabama goes against a 2-minute drill every week also.
Second down and 1. You really can't afford to run it.
There's no runs in this drill.
Pressure. They chase him out. They miss him again. He's got his first down all the way to midfield, and though he used some time to get his first down, the clock stops at 1:01 to play. Now it's just across midfield.
Patrick Nix is 100 times better ball player the second half than he was the first half.
Ball is slapped aside, incomplete.
The only problem is Damian Jeffries. He's got a little bit of a slow release. Jeffries sees it coming and he gets his hands up. By a slow release, I mean from the time you make up your mind to throw it. See the little wind up that he's got? Jeffries sees it coming. That's Riley, number 68. He's the true freshman. He needs to keep more contact on the defensive man to keep his hands down.
52 seconds to play, 2nd and 10. Pressure this time. Ball is thrown incomplete. And there's the penalty flag. Oh, this could be expensive. Pick it up.
There's no foul.
Pick it up.
No foul.
Okay. Didn't explain exactly why. Unless somebody threw it in anticipation, it didn't happen. 46 seconds remaining to play in the ball game. Auburn 5 out of 13 on 3rd down conversion. Ball is just across midfield. Nix throws to Beasley, and Beasley is thrown out of bounds at the 43, just near the 42, stopping your clock at 38 seconds.
Auburn doing a nice job of working the ball down. They're across midfield. They've got 38 seconds to go. If you throw it in the center of the field, you need a first down to stop the clock.
You got 4th and 3 coming up.
Yeah, that's the main thing. You need to pick up a first down anywhere on the field now. I don't care where it is, inside or outside, you need a first down.
4th and 3. Sanders over the middle. Didn't get it. He didn't get it. No, sir. He turned on the 40-yard line. He had to go inside the 40, and he never, ever got across that 40-yard line that I could see. Shade and Johnson ripped him right on the 40. I don't believe he made it. It'll be so close. Auburn says yes. Alabama says no. They didn't make it. I mean, it couldn't have been more than an inch. And there's a penalty flag thrown. Gene Stallings is yelling at his people to get out of the way. And one of the Auburn players may have said something.
Well, you knew it was close when Bill Goss, the referee, had to get down there and look at it real closely.
First down, Alabama. After the ball was there,
Well, there's the relief and the joy on the Alabama side And there was the disbelief and despair on the Auburn side. 31 seconds remaining. Unsportsmanlike conduct call, and it's going the other way. Frustration prompted that. It must have been close. It looked like it couldn't have been more than an inch.
It's been 21 games since Terry Bowden tasted defeat.
He'll wear it well. Patrick Nix is apologizing because it was Patrick that jumped up and challenged the call and got the flag. Now Alabama has to kill 31 seconds on the clock. And if Alabama wins this ball game, it'll be the 44th win for the senior class. That's remarkable.
Take a look at that last play from the left side. Sanders is going to slant in, catches the ball right there on the line, and double coverage as he's had all day stopped him short of the first down.
Sam Shade had the leverage, number 31, and simply would not let him inside the 40-yard line. And Johnson had the tackle. Shade had the leverage to push him back, and that was the difference of an inch. And now you know why they play these kind of games. I'm going to sit down. Here's Lynch one.
Coach Terry Bowden, you know, when you're at Auburn for 2 years and you've won every game, the unfortunate side of your first loss is also part of the story. Tell us about this football game. What happened in your eyes?
Well, they just dominated every phase early. We couldn't do anything right. They were playing perfectly, but in the second half we just wouldn't give up. And again, I think what you saw, we have two great football teams out there, and it went down to an inches call at the very end of the game. And I know they win it and they deserve to win it, but I think our players felt like they would have come back and won that game with one more first down.
For your seniors, I know the whole ball club was trying hard, but for your seniors, this is their last game. They've gone through a lot of turmoil, and they've shown great character the last 2 years. Give us an idea of what you'll say to these young men tonight.
Well, these seniors are going to cry a little bit tonight, and they're going to be sad. But when they're going to be remembered, they're going to be remembered the winningest team, the longest streak in the history of Auburn University, and they're going to be remembered for that beautiful day down in Gainesville. And that's a lot to be said for these young men. I'm real proud of them. And good luck to Alabama.
Coach, thank you very much.
And Coach Bowden, they probably will say, too, that we didn't lose a game, we just ran out of time. The genuine Chevrolet most valuable players are Patrick Nix for Auburn, Sherman Williams for Alabama. Chevrolet donating $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for academic achievements and to help those in financial need.
One more time, let's take a look at the last play that ends up just inches short. The bottom of your screen is Sanders. He's going to go down and slant to the inside. He is the leading receiver in the Southeastern Conference. There's double coverage. And Sam Shade hits him and holds him. That was close.
Again, Lentz won.
Keith, I'm with Jay Barker. Jay, congratulations on a terrific game. This is the only team that you had not beaten prior to today.
Well, I tell you, they're a tough team, and I just thank the Lord so much for blessing guys on both sides of the ball with the ability to be able to come out here and perform. And I got friends over there. Me and Patrick Nix are friends, and Frank Sanders, and I mean, they're just such great guys. And to come out here and compete, they came out and played so hard the second half. It seemed like everything went our way the first half, and boy, this is a game that if you've never seen one, you need to come down here and experience it.
I know Gene Starling your head coach tried to downplay the significance of this game to some degree because you've got the SEC championship game in 2 weeks. But this game had to have a little special meaning to you, wanting to kind of avenge that loss.
It really does. You know, last year I got my ACL torn against these guys, and it wasn't intentional by them, but you know, when you grow up in Alabama like I did, the bragging rights as a kid, you know, there's kids at home want to go back to school and tell their friends that Alabama won, and so I know that, and I realize the importance of this game, and so I love that, and I tell you, I think the state of Alabama has so much to be proud of with the two teams that they have in Alabama and Auburn, because both teams play with a lot of class and a lot of intensity.
And the state of Alabama has a lot to be proud of in Jay Barker. Jay, thank you very much.
I appreciate it very much.
Keith?
Well, on the Alabama side, they can rosin the bow tonight and have a toot as Alabama goes through the Western Division 8-0. Auburn finishing in the conference 6-1-1. SEC Championship presented by Dr. Pepper will be played in Atlanta, Georgia, December 3rd, and we'll have it for you here on ABC Sports. We hope you enjoyed it. From Birmingham, here's John.
All right, Keith, thanks a lot. Right now.
Try Radio Shack. We asked women from coast to coast what they thought was surprising, unusual, fun to get, so we can tell you. Just stop by your local Radio Shack.
So, Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
You need a lot of energy for 3 kids, and even more energy for all their toys. We went through batteries like candy. That was before Rayovac Renewal, alkaline batteries that are reusable.
Like 25 times.
Not like old-fashioned rechargeables. Renewals are alkaline, so the charges last longer. The power station's so easy, the kids think it's another toy. Toy? Me, I think of it as a piggy bank. Rayovac Renewal, reusable alkaline batteries. Smart move!
Watch how fast